Good morning. Long back, say about 25 years back, I had read a book, Who is Afraid of Virginia Woolf? And looking at the situation today, just south of the border, I am constrained to ask a question. Who's afraid of Donald Trump and why? In a democracy, everybody has a right to contest the election. You may like the person, you may not like the person. But when you gang up, manipulate, then there's a travesty of freedom, democracy, and it's all the worse when the whole establishment, whether it's the government in the shape of the president and the first wife, the media, press, print, electronic, they indulge in following the master tactician and strategist of falsehood, the god of the falsehood, Goebbels, the information or the misinformation minister of Hitler. He used to say that you repeat a lie 1,000 times and it becomes true. Now imagine you repeat a manufactured lie and sometimes give it a veneer of reality. One part real, 1,000 parts fiction. Tout it from the housetops, speak it from the pulpits, expose it from the authorities, CIA director, president, and so on. And it looks to be real to most of the people. CNN becomes Clinton News Network. I have nothing against any media supporting or opposing a candidate. But I definitely oppose the hypocrisy of saying that we are fair. I watched the debate, and as I said, I saw the host acting as a third debater, or rather B team of Hillary Clinton. That wasn't fair. Now imagine they blame him for having criticized a former Miss World, Miss Beauty, a beauty competition beauty queen, saying that she is fat. Now, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. If a lady looks to him to be fat, and if he says so, especially when she was his employee, and he was sponsoring the event, isn't it his right? Money makes the mayor go. And if he was spending the money, he was within his rights to say that she didn't appeal to him. What's wrong with that? I remember in my office I had asked the girls not to wear the bangles because when they worked, they jangled and disturbed the concentration of the people around. We had told in one section that the girls must not have long nails because they couldn't type properly. At that time there was no computer, they had to type manually. What's wrong with that? Now, if I was here and I was being opposed by the minions of CNN, I would be called a sexist. They say he has said that he likes pretty women. Who doesn't? Let me be honest. Did Bill Clinton not like pretty women? And not only he liked them to the extent of exploiting them. Well, I am no critic of Bill. He did what he should not have done. But to manufacture something or to blow a thing out of the context and out of all proportions only shows one thing, that they are afraid of Donald Trump. The situation reminds me what was in India. Everybody was afraid of our present Prime Minister, Narendra Modi, and they ganged up to call him a communalist, a murderer, a promoter of communalism. And what happened after he became the Prime Minister? Nothing. The communal riots in India have decreased appreciably. Rather, there have been no riots since he became the Prime Minister, except for 3 isolated incidents, which were deplorable, detestable, condemnable. I'm not promoting them. But if I look at the incidents in the times of Congress, the biggest promoter of secularism, there were 3,986 incidents of the similar nature during that time, as opposed to 3 incidents during Narendra Modi's time. Now, coming to the question, who is afraid of Donald Trump? Let me tell you very frankly. People who are afraid of Donald Trump are those who believe in interfering in the internal affairs of other countries, who believe in increasing their hegemony over the poor, over the unstable, or comparatively unstable, and who want to impose their ideas. The dictators of the worst order. You impose an order, a system, which is a thought-changing system. This is the worst thing that can happen. You have no right to do that. Who are opposing him are the people who are fundamentalists, promoters of the cultural, social, religious divide. Islamists who are afraid of him are the politically correct people who, under the garb of being honest and under the garb of being clear-headed and democratic, are the worst dictators. The situation today is identical to what McCarthy did immediately after the Second World War. Anybody could be labeled communist and hauled to jail, hounded, hunted like a mad person. So first abuse was being a communist. And today they call him a racist. They call him xenophobic. They call him misogynist. Now, a person who has his daughter who is heading a business empire of her own, a person who appointed the first women in the executive positions, you call him a misogynist is laughable, but that is true. And as I said, this is a Goebbelsian propaganda that makes people feel that he is not good. Okay. Whether I'm no apologist for Donald Trump, let me be honest, I have nothing to do with the US system because I'm not a citizen of that country. But this thing is going to affect Canada. And it's going to affect the whole world. I do not resent whether Hillary wins or would crow if Donald wins. But in the interest of peace, it's important that Donald wins. In the interest of USA, it's better if Hillary is not the winner. Now, let me tell you the reason. Hillary is known for her partiality to Muslim Brotherhood. President Nixon had to resign because he had got deleted 15 minutes of conversation from a tape. 15 minutes of conversation. Watergate scandal. Some of you know about it. Some of you were not born at that time. But I was a live witness to that. The Watergate scandal broke out, and he was accused of suppressing and clearing the evidence by getting those 15 minutes erased from the tape. Result was he was going to be impeached and he resigned. Here is a lady who deleted 30,000 emails, smashed her computers so that the hard drive could not be recovered. And she is still lauded, praised as a champion of freedom. A person who hides the facts, how can that person be champion of freedom? People have been shot, hanged, sent to jail for crimes less than she has committed. As General Vaughan said that if a private had done what she has done, he would be spending 20 years in Fort Leavenworth. Leavenworth is a military prison. And here, she was instrumental in killing of 4 Americans, including the ambassador in Libya. And there is nary a word. And not only, no, imagine it, even CNN, New York Times, Washington Times, they keep absolutely mum on all the wrongdoings. I would say what they do with Donald Trump is great, provided they indulge in the same freedom, in the same dissection with Hillary Clinton as well. People have a right to know. People have a right to know what's wrong with these people. But then, if you show what's wrong with one, show what's wrong with the other. What is sauce for the goose is sauce for the gander. So I told you who is afraid. The politically correct people, the hypocrites, the dishonest people, the exploiters, they are afraid of Donald Trump. So, what's the way out? Create situations. They say Voltaire at one time had said that the people are so credulous that they need God. And he said, I know there's no God, but for these people you have got to manufacture God. You have to create one. This is what all the religious leaders have done. Use the name of a God, create an image. And here, what these people are doing, the people who are afraid of Donald Trump, they are creating myriad visions of dishonesty and cheating, which they cannot sustain. But this creation of falsehood, this deification of wrongdoing on behalf of Donald Trump is a result of fiction mostly, or at the most, one part of reality with 1,000 parts of fiction, homeopathic treatment, and repeated 1,000 times, repeated 24/7, and maybe some people would be misled. Maybe some people would be taken in. Maybe hypocrisy, hypocritical garb of these so-called servants of humanity would mislead people. Leave the ethical parts aside. Even from the common human point of view, this is wrong. Character assassination is wrong. When I go and watch the TV, I find ganging up. There is one supporter of Donald Trump, 4 of Hillary Clinton, and these 4 do not permit even one supporter to talk about. There is an all-round attack. Still they are holding the fort. Now let me tell you, it's ideal that the best person be elected because whosoever is the president of USA is going to have a global impact. Do we need a person who is honest? Do we need a person who is proven to be successful? And then one thing more, which quite interested me, was they were saying that he has no experience. What experience Obama had except 2 years as a senator? What experience Gerald Ford has, who became the president, first the vice president and then the president, the only one in the history of USA to be so without being elected, without having fought an election. What experience General Eisenhower had when he became the president? He was an army guy, and straight from army he came to. So, what experience Abraham Lincoln had? He was not a senator, he was nothing, he was just a lawyer, and he contested and became the president. So, there have been examples at galore where the people without experience have become the president. So to blame on that, and as a matter of fact, having experience shows a tunnel vision, and it also shows the partiality of Hillary Clinton, that she is partial towards the Muslim fundamentalists. But I will not criticize her, that's her right. And if the people of USA think that she is a better president, she should be elected. But let it be a fight fair and square. Let the gobbles at least rest in peace. And these people who proclaim themselves to be the high priests of democracy and freedom, of honesty and probity, let's at least show some semblance of doing so. Otherwise, the faith in the very institution of honesty and democracy shall be shattered. Thank you.